Good morning, Brother Bet. Eon, that's a really funny comment. In light of the title of today's show. Turn the music down so I can think. Okay, the title of today's show is There Is No Human Free Will. We're all putty in God's hands. And then the icon or the thumbnail says, if a man is ignorant, deluded, and deceived, does he even know that he is ignorant, deluded, and deceived? So, you get the joke. Eon Monk, you get the joke. Please don't rock my worldview. Welcome, Lawrence and Halsey and Bet. He showed up there for a second. And Jody. And Brief. Brief says the music is horror. Can't help it, baby. It does it for me. If you want to hear Merle Haggard, you're in the wrong place. Oh, by the way, boys and girls, we're gonna piggyback on to the Kansas City conference today. As I know the schedule, it starts maybe an hour, maybe sooner. Anyway, feel free to come in right now and hang out, sip coffee with me, you know. Please don't rock my worldview. Well, son, let me tell you something. In your worldview, son, you have the most important. You are the most important thing in your worldview. You and your free will and your 10 toes and your belly button. Yeah. But the rest of us look at you and we see stinky armpits and stinky feet, and we're like not impressed. So we know, the rest of us know that you are not the center of the universe. Therefore, the headline, there is no human free will, baby. We are all putty in God's hands. And isn't that an interesting choice of words? Because, if I were really biblical, I would say we are all clay in God's hands. But what the hell do we need that word clay for? Let's use the word putty, because we're all used to, the idea of silly putty. That is, if you were born at the right time, I don't know if millennials and Gen Zers, when they were kids, played with silly putty. No, as soon as they were 3 months old, their parents bought them a cell phone, an iPhone. Anyway, and so also, cool, we got this thing as the icon. Let me bring it up here. No, I don't want to bring it up. I'll have to remove the music. I'll just read it to you. If a man is ignorant, deluded, and deceived, does he even know that he is ignorant, deluded, and deceived? And if a man is ignorant, deluded, and deceived, and you know better, are you sure you want to go about telling him that he is ignorant, deluded, and deceived? Because from my experience, boys and girls, it's dangerous to tell someone that they are ignorant, deluded, and deceived. Somehow, they might take offense because they have a higher opinion of themselves than to be assessed as ignorant, deluded, and deceived. I mean, it's real common. It's real common to judge everything from how you tie your shoes to how you drive your car to how you interact with your neighbor based on your own experience and what you've been spoon-fed. Elsie?
Hello.
Turn your mic up. Use your words.
Hello.
I like you.
Is that better?
It was better. Come closer.
Hold on. We're setting different. Is that better?
Come closer.
Well, I don't want to let me turn my mic up a little bit. Is that better?
Yeah, that's fine. That's just fine.
All right, good.
I have a question for you.
Go for it.
If a man is ignorant, deluded, and deceived, does he even know that he's ignorant, deluded, and deceived?
I mean, sometimes not. You know, like.
Wait a minute. Sometimes not?
Well, let me explain. So, when you've never been exposed to something.
Yeah, if he's ignorant, he doesn't even know that he's ignorant.
That's true ignorance, right?
Yeah.
But once you show him what's real or what's correct, he has to make a judgment call, right? On whether or not he believes you and about the information.
Now
and if he really likes his former information, he might just choose to reject everything else. And at that point, it becomes willful ignorance and not just regular ignorance, you know?
I tell you, Elsie, it's hard to think a new thought.
If you've thought it, probably 100 other people have already at least, right?
Well, and if you never thought it, then it's hard to think a new thought.
That's true.
So let me tell you, experience from my childhood. When I was about 15 years old, I picked up a girlfriend from church, you know? And it was just innocent, sweet, you know, puppy
love sort of thing.
Oh, it was even pre-puppy love, right? I don't think I ever even kissed the girl because we were church, you know. Anyway, so I went over to her house, and my family was full on trailer trash, and her family was just above trailer trash, right? My stepdad was a plumber, and her dad was, you know, he was one of those divers that went inside that suit, you know, with the bubble head.
Interesting. There's a lot of different jobs you can do doing that.
Yeah, we lived in Norfolk, Virginia, and there was a lot of military bases, you know, Navy-based stuff there.
Is he like a salvage guy or a welder, or what did he do?
I don't know. Let me get to my point before you ask what kind of socks he wore. So I went over to her house, and she made some toast for us, and she took the knife and scraped it down the length of the butter. You know how the very top of the butter is all smoother, you know? It's not
the long side instead of the
she scraped it down to get the smoothest, meltiest part of the butter, right? I had never seen that. Here I am, 15 years old, and I thought, well, that's interesting. That's pleasant. Maybe I'll do that. So when I get back home, some days later, I'm in the kitchen and I'm going to spread some butter on my toast. And I scrape the length of the butter, and my stepdad says, "That's not the way we cut butter. Cut it right." I thought, holy smoke, here I am 15 years old and I'm experiencing this situation where my stepdad
actually angry about this, right?
Angry over butter? dude, it's hard to think a new thought. And when he saw me putting butter on my toast in a new kind of way, he freaks out.
Yeah. Like in his mind, he just had that big red flashing X. You know, he had to stop you. Like that was no good, you know?
Yeah.
Even though it was just you getting butter from one place to the other.
How in the hell is it going to change the course of the universe? But man, he was upset.
I think we all have to keep in mind that there's like a large portion of the pie slice of things we know and don't know and think we know is things we don't know we don't know. Right? Things in the world that exist, but we're completely 100% unaware of them, but they're there.
Sure. Let me tell you another experience I had with my stepdad.
All right.
I'm about 13 years old when this happened, where me and my siblings were sitting in the backseat of the car. We pull up to a stop sign, and there's some traffic going the other way, you know, across us. And they didn't have a stop sign. They didn't have to stop. They were just going. And he swears. He's mad. He says, look at them. They're spacing it out just so that I can't get out.
It's all about him.
Exactly. It's all about him. They conspired to space out their driving so that I can't get out.
So he'd be annoyed.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were out to get him. And then the butter thing, you know, him getting upset, flamingly upset over the way someone slices butter. Now, I am reminded of these two little stories because, don't tell anybody, but I went over to Eric's channel. No, JG's channel. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. It was we played JG's channel shit over here. And I heard those guys, led by the renowned Eric of Erics, right? And he sounded just like my stepdad from all those years ago.
Oh, wow.
He sounded just like him because it was all about him. Look at these drivers. They're spacing it out just so that I can't. And Eric was talking as if I designed my show to annoy him. He said something like, he's on so many times a day. He's on so many hours a day. It's like it was like I was personally doing it to bug him or something.
A personal offense, yeah. Who just came in? I can't see because of the board.
It's a secret. I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, okay.
And on another occasion, a year or two ago, when I was having a so-called debate with Eric, I'm here on my glass porch, and the sun shines over my shoulder, and he accuses me of shining a flashlight into the screen to annoy him. So he reminds me of that blue collar guy who thinks the whole goddamn world is about him. And so my question is, if a man is ignorant, deluded, and deceived, does he even know that he's ignorant and deluded and deceived?
No. I mean, when I said sometimes, I just meant when a person is completely unaware, they have not been exposed to what's real, or if they did get exposed to it, they, for some reason, just, it didn't register, right? Like it didn't sink in. Yeah, they could be that way. And until someone sort of like makes them see, or it dawns on them themselves that they're wrong, you know, they'll remain that way. They have to have a good reason to be wrong. People don't like to be wrong, you know?
They have to justify their own behavior, their own ignorance and delusion and deception. And it's just a normal thing to do, you know.
Self-protective, right? It's like
none of us can crawl 1 inch outside of our skin. Man, what a question on the screen. If a man is ignorant, deluded, and deceived. Does he even know? Because I remember a year ago, Jack Smack did a drive-by on the channel, and he said, Ace is deluded. So I wrote a little essay the next day and said, Dear Jack Smack, If a man is deluded, does he even know that he's deluded?
Well, yeah, truly deluded, then probably not. But you know, like the thing is, once they, let's say you give someone the truth, right? A widely accepted piece of knowledge, and they reject that. Um, Whatever they believe that makes them reject it, like the reasons that they give that it should be rejected, are just another thing to be deluded about. Once that truth's been rejected, like the reason why is also another delusion. It stacks up after a while. It's layers of delusion.
Did you ever see the TV show called House?
Yes, great show.
Uh-huh. Well, in every episode of that show, he is always telling his crew, his doctor crew, people lie. Everybody lies. Every
Right.
episode, it says that.
Yeah.
And and in fitting with this conversation right now, yeah, everybody lies, but I don't think that they know, by and large, that they are lying. They're just trying to figure out some way to justify their behavior or justify their ignorance or justify their delusion or justify why they scrape the butter off the top or slice it down the middle, right? They do what they do and they don't know why they do it. But if you ask them, why are you behaving the way you're behaving? They'll give you some bullshit answer because that's as fast as they can think, right? But most of us don't know why we behave the way we do. There is no free will. Dude, Mr. Dude in the side chat.
I think sometimes people just feel an impulse to want to respond and have something to say in a conversation, even if it's like a little splinter of information that's definitely not complete and it's probably not correct.
I would
They
never
repeat it anyway.
I would never slice the butter that way.
Right. But yeah, anyway.
I slice the butter the right way. I'm not like you.
Yeah. I'm special and what you're doing is weird and probably wrong. Right? I know the real good way to do it, and your way is not it.
Of course, says this dude here. I don't even know. Don't make me work my brain, Mr. Boom. We'll
Well,
call him Boom.
and I'd like to, if he could explain either in text or come in and do it, how does he define free will? What are the parameters of that?
How about we'll help him out here. Free will is the ability to slice the butter in a new kind of way once you see that it's a possibility. Yeah, man. It's all about the butter.
Free will would necessarily have to be completely unaffected by outside factors, external factors to you. And there's no such experience amongst humans.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But it's outside factors, anything outside of the mind that you feel is the thing deciding?
Anything outside of you. It's not like subjective and objective, right? It's
right, but we can't feel like our body chemistry making choices for us. We just get the effects of it.
That wouldn't be choices. That's autonomic. It's without choice.
Okay, so that's outside of the free will picture.
Right. Free will is something that you're not influenced by outside sources, because if you're influenced in any way, then your will isn't free. If there's any constraint, you don't have free options to do anything. Your will's not free. Your options aren't endless.
Right. So that would be like that would be a thing that would take away our free will, right? To be influenced by like our involuntary brain chemistry or
right. Free will is not a state that I don't think people outside of the womb can have, because there's so many factors. You know what I mean? Like in life that you don't, you are constantly being, your will is
impossible to be without outside influence.
Right. That's all we know is outside. We're machines that sense the world around us outside of us.
We're just filtering it in and just responding to it.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the physiological body. We're just geared to take in more information, and process it.
Good morning, Will.
Morning, Miss Housey. Morning, Ace.
I love you.
Oh, and I love you. So I got a question because you've paused this video in a very frustrating spot for me because I can't tell if that's an Ibanez artist series or not. It's blurry at the headstock. It's probably
Well,
not. But
it does look like Ibanez, huh?
yeah, it looks like an artist series, like 325 AR, but I'm not sure. It looks a little more like the Gibson. Never mind. I don't want to get into guitars. I do this every time we get together.
You have a free will, don't you?
No, apparently just the outside stimulus of seeing a guitar takes my mind away from good conversations into thinking about buying guitars when I shouldn't.
Yeah. Hey, if a man is deluded, ignorant, and deceived, do you think a man knows that he is deluded, ignorant, and deceived?
I don't think a man knows much of anything at any
Yeah.
point. We are
Yeah.
all subject to being deluded or deceived by our own eyes, much less the lies of others.
Yeah. I just found it, in my recent dealings with Eric, I just found it puzzling that he would find fault with the way I slice butter. What the hell does it matter? He found fault with me having long broadcasts every damn day. And then when I was off the air for 2 weeks, they found fault with that.
They can't help but find fault. You're the outside stimulus affecting what they want to have as free will. You're another factor that's influencing their decision about everything.
Did you see when JG came over yesterday?
I did not. I hate I missed that.
Well, you didn't miss much because it was the usual routine, but something happened toward the end of his visit that made me laugh. One of the brothers in the side comment posted that Proverbs verse that says, "It's better to live in the corner of a roof than in a house with a brawling woman." So I brought it up and posted it right under his face because he's acting like a grumpy, brawling woman every damn time he comes over here. He's got a ruler in his hand. He's smacking everybody's knuckles,
I thought there was some change going on and he was lightening up a little bit with that.
Yeah, but apparently he's relapsed.
Now I haven't had him do that to me yet, but I haven't been around him, to be fair. Maybe he's just returned to his behavior towards you.
Yeah,
And not everyone. I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch this
a
situation.
leopard cannot change his spots,
I think he reviewed it and named the title of his review P-Town Leaves, Ace Repeatedly Contradicts Himself, and Specialist Claims the Scriptures Contain Lies.
See? He's finding fucking fault. P-Town left because he said, "I've had enough of this stupid conversation." And I'm trying to answer his questions, but he won't let me answer them because every answer I give is the wrong answer. And so he says I'm contradicting. And then the other brother says, "I found a couple of verses, specialists found a couple of verses that were not in the Bible in English, in the old English versions like Tyndale's version, and were inserted later by the guys who were all Trinitarian, excited about Trinity. And it's obvious that this wasn't here until these Trinitarians got a hold of the Bible and made the next translation and inserted it." And so he, the fault-finding boy, JG, says the scriptures are full of lies. No, he just said that there's a couple of verses that are obviously inserted after the Catholics influence.
So Ace, there's not a dime's worth of difference between me and JG.
I know. So I'm ready to smack you too, baby.
I get it.
Come closer so I can get you.
I want you to embrace the honesty in what I'm saying.
Yeah, I am.
The things how you describe JG is precisely what I do to people. I pick apart their arguments. I needle them and tear their arguments apart piece by piece because I can. Maybe there's a greater purpose, but I don't know.
Well,
lately it's just been. Yeah.
I haven't seen you act like a girl as much as JG does because, for JG to it wasn't that he was picking apart. He was looking for fault over and over again. Every breath he took, he was looking to find a fault with us. I mean, I heard specialists say that he has examined a lot of the old Bible, English Bible translations like Tyndale and the Geneva Bible and so forth. And he said it's kind of obvious that these Trinitarian style verses, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, these three, they were inserted in three different places, but they weren't in the other versions that came before. It's just an honest comment. And for him to say, for JG to say, this guy specialist says there's deception in the Bible. No, he was talking more rationally or sensibly than you are, than your accusation. It was like a woman, like talking to a woman. Who broke this vase? That's it. Mom, who broke this vase?
Do you think that all women, they all communicate in that exact same style?
Listen, I've been familiar with a few women.
Yeah, but I said all the women.
I haven't met all women.
You might just have a type.
I was married to Job's wife, I'll tell you the truth.
She made fun of you when you were picking your scabs.
She said, why don't you just curse God and die? I was married to that gal.
Shit, come on. Who else? She said those words. Why don't you just curse God and die?
In 1990, I got sick and was in bed for 21 days. On about day 14, she says to me, I'm sick of you laying around in bed all the time.
Laying around?
Yeah. I said,
I mean, you were actually sick. Why'd she say that?
So you were dealing with a narcissist.
Job's wife.
Job's wife was a narcissist.
Yeah.
I would have been bugging you to get up and take a goddamn shower, but I wouldn't have been berating you for being tired.
Of course, you're different. You're different. But
no, seriously, though, like that's not a good wife.
Well, hold on, Ace. Are you saying that tongue in cheek about Halsey being different? Is it just kind of like you're humoring her, or are you actually aware that she is a bit unique among the sex of female?
What the hell do I know? I'm ignorant, deceived, and deluded.
Well, you've got a lot of mileage, so you've seen a lot of women, you've seen a lot of men, probably not in the same way, hopefully, but you've seen our interactions with each other. And yeah, I'm sure that you have a lot of experience and insight into that, but that's why I feel more confident in pointing out that I think Halsey is pretty unique by at least the number of females I've run into. Yeah. Notice how quiet she is most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
That by itself, I mean, even Jill can't pull that off.
That's for sure. Hey, today is Jill Sunday.
I know. I wanted to pop by and see if anything was going on yet, but
he's still in church. But I'm going to
stand there by the door greeting people.
You have to edit your title a little bit and put him in there somewhere.
Well, today I'm going to pick up and piggyback on the Kansas City conference, so I'm going to have to tell Jill come back next Sunday that Jill Sunday has been canceled for today.
Uh-oh.
And plus, I'm going to end this stream. I've got an out-of-town guest showing up. We're going to have breakfast.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, baby.
Very cool.
All right, well, I'll just zoom on out of here and you can...
Not yet. I'll tell you when. Oh. You do not have permission to leave yet.
Oh.
You are putty in my hands.
You're touching my defiance button.
We'll see about that, said Wolf.
Well, you and I are alike in that kind of way, because even in my young life, I hated to be told what to do, especially by people younger than me. Because I remember when I was like 12 years old, I was on the high school football team or whatever the hell it was, and the coach's son was like 6 months younger than me, and the coach's son was bossing me around for football practice. God, it bugged me, and I quit. And then I joined the Boy Scouts, and the scout leader's son was a couple of months younger than me, and that bugged me, and I quit. Anyway,
well, I'm not going to give away too much information, but part of my family's historic motto is paraphrased in "We defy."
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, from ages past, our family motto is the equivalent of "We defy."
After all, you and I have Confederate heritage.
Fair.
Yeah. And which, if you trace it back out, we have more influence from the Scottish than from the Puritans in New England.
And Irish, depending
And
on
the
where your line
Puritans,
comes from.
if you trace out the attitude, the Puritans in New England were all conformers, do the right thing. But the Scottish were rebellious, and they settled in the Appalachian Mountains. And that's why today, to this very day, boys and girls, when you visit somebody in New England and knock on the door, they say, "What do you want?" But you go down south and you knock on the door, they say, "Hi, Shug. Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Come on in."
Well, how you doing, Sugar Plum? Well, come on in here and take your shoes off and kick your feet up. Stay a while.
Mhm.
I like Southern people. I love their hospitality. Well, it depends
they-
on what area you're in.
They got it from the Scottish, whereas the Puritans settled in New England, and God, are they a pain in the ass. They hate each other.
Well, you were talking about the North and the South there for a little while, the Confederacy and the Republic, but there was no good side or right side in that.
Mhm.
Everybody was fundamentally flawed in their stance on both sides. And the
Mhm.
actions of the North under the Constitution were treasonous. You would agree that Lincoln was a tyrant.
Oh, he was a war criminal, flat out war criminal. There's even written
But also
documentation.
slavery is morally wrong and repugnant to a free society, right?
It was, it was an excuse for the war. I honestly believe the war was over.
I'm talking about the Confederate side. When my statement was that both sides were fundamentally flawed
Yeah.
in their approach. So we'll say that the North, you're willing to say the North Lincoln was a tyrant and all that was treasonous. Well, and you have to also acknowledge that defending even states' rights, but in order to maintain slavery, is repugnant to a free society.
Right.
Which
And
is what the goal was.
I'm quite convinced that if the Confederates had won, they would have instituted just as many corrupt and bullshit laws as we have today.
Absolutely. If not more.
If not more.
Because we would have been pumped up with the idea that we defeated the big bad North, the tyrant and all that, and that we were going to be so much better. And in that delusion, we would screw the pooch just as hard.
You know who my favorite character is out of the Civil War, of all the characters?
Tell me.
Colonel Mosby.
Tell me about Mosby.
Have you ever heard of Mosby's Raiders?
I want you to tell me about them.
They were guerrilla fighters, and they were the most effective fighters for the South.
You know, that's strange because I've been in the South my whole life and have never seen a native guerrilla. Who the hell were they fighting? No, but I know what you meant.
Funny. Yeah. Yeah. So at one time during my studies and pontification of the matter, Robert E. Lee was my hero. He looked all prim and proper with honor and dignity and blah, 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 blah. I worshiped Robert E. Lee as much as any Southerner. And then I was on Lou Rockwell one time about 10 years ago, and a throwaway line was written by one of the writers. And they said, well, Robert E. Lee spent his whole life as a parasite, a government employee. Oh my God, that one line just melted my whole worship image of Robert E. Lee. He was truly a government parasite. He never was into the free market himself. And so, anyway, it was fun to unlearn and to think a new thought.
It was definitely a nasty time for us.
Yeah. But now I look at over the whole story and, I say, Colonel Mosby, he makes the most sense to me. He didn't take orders from anybody, but he was a guerrilla fighter, and his band of fighters that joined him, they cheated, they lied, they stole, they blew up Yankee trains and stole all the money and got the hell out of there. They caused the most damage to the Yankees, per ratio of any of the Confederate fighters. I love guerrilla warfare, boys.
The dirty fighters.
Yeah.
I mean, it's effective. It's definitely the best tool in the underdog's pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to pick
So-
your battles, and if you got to fight, you might as well fight dirty.
Right. If you're gonna do it, go all the way with it.
Mm-hmm. The
I'm
South
looking
won the first 3 battles in the war,
hmm
but they made a terrible mistake. After they had obviously won the battle, they let the Yankees go back home and regroup so that the next battle was even worse. And then the second battle, they let the Yankees go back home and regroup. And then the third battle, it got a little worse, but they still won. And then finally they lost the fourth battle. And so I always think that it's a damn shame that that they didn't just wipe them all out from the very beginning instead of playing fair, let them go back home and lick their wounds. What is this?
I don't know if you like watching old footage, but this guy checks out the way people talk and their education and all in that time period.
I've seen a few of his footages. Go ahead.
You know, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I thought of this video when I was watching this documentary called Grey Gardens, which is a film about a couple of the Kennedy relations living in this rundown, dilapidated house in the Hamptons, in squalor, complete squalor. And the way that they spoke, because she was alive, they were both alive. It was a mother and daughter throughout the early part of the 20th century. And they speak completely different from how you and I speak. But it reminded me of this video. I'm going to need to show it to you sometime.
All right.
All right, now what you want me to do? Yeah. Hello, folks. How you feel? Good this morning? Hope you do. I'm trying to get up.
Hope you do. Wow, I love it. My gosh, this is the authentic, this is the real deal, guys. It's not someone putting on this is the real deal. Born in 1845.
On my feet again. Feel pretty good. Thankful it's as well as it is. Oh, boys, I'm pleased to see you. I don't know where you come from, but I give you all the welcome I've got to offer you.
See how she almost sounds, there is a dignity to it, isn't there? Both in the way they speak, it's kind of gone. It's something that I find endearing, charming.
My great grandmother spoke very similar to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was even the timbre of her voice reminds me of my nanny.
Uh-huh.
Even.
Oops.
It almost gives you an idea of someone who is being televised for the first time. It looks a little theatrical from our perspective, but that's how people spoke. I mean, of course, she's an educated person, so I guess not everyone spoke like her.
On the same ground that I've lived on for 75 long years.
75 long years. Man. Oh my gosh, this is a centuries old already. But she's from the 1800s, so she probably sounded antiquated and old to the youth of the 1920s, which means we are really connecting to something that is almost 200 years old, if you really think about it.
When I come here as an 18-year-old bride. I went to Washington 50 years and a little more ago. I saw all the
50 years and a little more ago. Man, I'm going to start saying it like that. It sounds so old school, old-fashioned.
People around there and been with the presidents. And I learned a great many things up there that I didn't know before. I'll add a little more to it. I was one of the board of lady managers for the Chicago Exposition. and I served my full time in Chicago and learned a good many things over there. I was a delegate to the Tennessee Centennial Exposition. I was a delegate to St. Louis, a juror at St. Louis. I think for a North Georgia cracker of my size and age, I've had a pretty good education on that line.
Yeah.
That do all right?
That do all right? She was asking at the, oh, that's good. Yeah, of course. Actually, like that they left in these.
I was a 3-year-old girl when the Indians were moved from this country to Indian Territory. I have an indistinct recollection of seeing the red men as they went through the woods, for everything was woods nearly at that time. I have a distinct impression, if a 3-year-old child can have it. Nevertheless, I've been here since that time, and I've seen the march of progress all the way. At that time, we had only stagecoaches, and we only had horses and buggies, and we had lots of footback travelers.
So yeah, that's another thing. She really went through the technological development in the mechanized sense, right? Horses and walk around. That was it when she was young. Because when she was 3, it was 1838. And then, of course, as she gathers more, she's 5, she's 8, she's 10. Even when she's 10, it's still 1845. So she's got all the recollection. That's the, oh yeah, this is fascinating. But let's focus on this, on the pronunciation again.
You too. I remember all of that, and had intimate acquaintance with the people of that time. Now I've seen it come along all this way, and the airplane goes over my house going on its way, and it's got to be such a common thing. The old girl don't go even out to see if she can look at it. Although it might.
It's precious and fascinating at the same time.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
There's no way that we can even, and we've seen a lot in our lives, just in technological change, but to go from horse and buggy all the way through to the airplane in your lifetime, and for it to be so common that you stop marveling at it. What an amazing life that lady had. What she saw that no one else recorded, you know. You want more? Or you want me to take it down?
I want to say hello to Richard first. Hello, Richard.
Hey, how you doing?
Lovely.
God bless.
I got a question for you.
What?
If a man is ignorant, deluded, and deceived, does he even know that he's ignorant, deluded, and deceived?
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Locked up in stubbornness.
Yeah.
Without a key.
So yesterday, Richard, JG came over here to bug me.
Mm-hmm.
And I expect more from him because he's got a better vocabulary than, say, somebody from, below the railroad tracks. But just because he has a better vocabulary doesn't mean that he's not ignorant, deluded, and deceived.
Yeah.
And he fancies himself.
Yeah.
Anyway, so every time I have an exchange with him, I have the highest hopes, that we can make some progress about things, and think a new thought. But I'm disappointed. And I think it's because he has such a better vocabulary. Because you'd expect a dumbass redneck who just drinks beer and brags, and his accomplishment on life is how he fell down the stairs and got arrested 5 times for being drunk, And that's not much of an accomplishment, but because he has a better vocabulary, I hope for him. Anyway, never mind. I'm deluded. I'm deceived. I'm ignorant.
Yes,
I am ignorant of things, and I'm trying to work it out.
God makes foolish the wisdom of this world. JG has all the big words, but he doesn't have the big concepts.
Well, Freeman, that was great. I love that old woman.
Yeah, I wish that fellow would have stopped interrupting her.
Oh, you mean the guy who recorded the interview?
No.
I mean, who played the interview? You
yeah,
you
the
mean me.
content creator. He was marveled by a lot of things, and he made a lot of good points. But I would have been more content just to hear her straight through everything in context without the interruptions.
Yeah.
I enjoy her manner of speaking.
Have you seen the Will Harris video called 100,000 Beating Hearts? I played it like 4
Oh,
times.
I'm
Up
sure you.
cows. Sorry.
I know you've shown it to me at least twice, but I can't remember.
Well, his
Which
accent is real charming. He sounds like Foghorn Leghorn.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, last time we talked about that, and I brought up that my governor sounds like that. We actually
I'll
call
tell
him
you,
Governor Leghorn.
I tell you what, boys and girls.
I don't
Yeah.
want to say anything about the accent that's common and historical to my area, but it's some kind of combination of well-bred and absolutely dumb at the
Yeah.
same time.
Mhm.
Like I'm going to get kicked out of my state for saying that, but the old Carolina accent is fascinating because they're definitely putting on airs.
Oh, I grew up in Virginia, right? And at one time I could distinguish and mimic the difference between a Virginia accent, North Carolina accent, South Carolina, Georgia, Western North Carolina. I could distinguish between those accents, and pretty proud of myself from being able to mimic it. But when I was about 25 years old, I went across the country and I stopped in Louisiana, and this waitress, her accent was putting on airs, and I felt like she was ready to steal my wallet because she said, "Hi, honey, how are you? What can I get you?" It was like so thick, I knew she was deceitful.
You know, people a lot of time think it's a parody when they hear someone say, "How y'all are? How y'all are?" But that's that Creole that's bled all through the South, you know, that how y'all are. It's still around in parts of South Carolina.
Uh-huh.
If I hear it, when I hear it, I'm almost like, are you messing with me?
I know.
Are you teasing? Did you really just say that like in all sincerity?
I like the Boston accent. She sounds a little like the Boston accent, that lady.
It's because she's wicked smart.
I hate that Boston accent.
Kennedy's accent. Is that Scottish accent? I don't know what that is.
There's a pretty good book you guys might want to read by Clyde Wilson. He's a professor down in some Southern university. It's called The Yankee Problem. The Yankee Problem. It's among other things, it traces out the history of the different kind of thinking between New England and the Southerners, why we think the way we do.
Tell me a little bit about that. What is the difference?
The primary thing is that New England was settled by the Puritans, the self-righteous Puritans. The South was settled by Scottish who wanted to get the hell out of there. The Puritans got kicked out of England by and large, right? And so they brought all their self-righteousness with them. And most of the bad laws that come out of Washington, D.C. come from New England. The no drinking laws, you know, what's that called? Prohibition.
Prohibition, yeah.
And you could trace out the Civil War to the self-righteous religious preachers of New England who were anti-slavery, but they weren't really anti-slavery. They were just anti-Southern slavery. And there's a bit of history showing that when they would go down south, they were angry that the slaves had so much freedom and were dancing at the end of the night and having a party in their slave quarters. They were angry that there was so much love and freedom and happiness among the slaves in the South. and they went back up to the north, and they were pissed, so they were anti-slavery because of that, not because of the cruelty they saw. They didn't see cruelty; they saw happy slaves. And
Interesting.
yeah, and so we get the Salem witch trials, but never the Atlanta witch trials, right?
Right.
So it's a fascinating tracing out of the mindset and the way of thinking, and he calls it the Yankee problem. Clyde Wilson is
You make some solid points with that. I might have to check that out.
and a lot of the the battles that we have with the Christian boys, they don't even know why they think the way they do, and most of them think the way they do in that self-righteous kind of way because they're influenced by the Puritans from New England.
I've just always considered them pricks.
Yes,
I couldn't really put my finger on it. I'm just like, I don't like Yankee attitude when they come down. I don't like typically. You got it's not anything that they're doing that's bad as a person. It's just that the way they relate to our ways here drive me nuts. In fact, on my oldest guitar that I've had forever on the case, there's a Confederate flag sticker and a little saying that says, "We don't give a damn how you did it up north."
Yeah.
And I've had that my whole life. So apparently my frustration with them traces back to my teens.
Okay, I have to scoot. You guys can hang around, but boys and girls, check back later. I should be back in an hour or so, and we'll pick up the where we left off yesterday. I love you, Richard,
You too.
and thank God you live in Texas.
A Lone Star State.
Exit stage right.